Good morning everyone, and we find ourselves here in the lush green surroundings early in the morning on a weekday, and I'm here to introduce you all to something very special from my garage. Let's do this. This is the Audi A5 Fastback or the Sportback. It's basically space filled between Audi A4 and A6, a car with a coupe silhouette, something that resembles the larger A7. Quite a beautiful thing this is, and I've been living with this for quite some time, and I'm genuinely impressed by how this car is, and I'll talk you through each and everything that is good and what is not good about this car today in this video. So here it is, and let me talk you through the exteriors first. So we start off with the front. There's this typical hexagonal Audi grille, which is quite wide, lots of chrome on top of it. So this grille is not real. There is a gap here for some aerodynamics to circulate air through the wheels. This is long bonnet with really beautiful scoops. If you can see the muscle line on top of the hood and the way it tapers down, it's beautiful. I really like the shade. It really stands out with the sort of backdrop we have today. The headlights, LED setup, give a very good illumination in the dark. Then we move on to the alloy wheels. This is 18-inch rims. The car comes with Continental Conti Sport Contact 245 by 40 R18 fire-rated tires. Good enough to do 250 plus kilometers an hour. The S-Line badge telling you the sporty credentials. I've heard some people calling it S-Line. It's S-Line. Remember that. The doors, they rake all the way to the top. It's a very steep rake, and it does give you that sporty coupe-like appeal. And this long chrome lining coming at the back with the kink at the rear. And there is these frameless windows as well, which are typical coupe-ish, very reminiscent to the Audi A7. And there are these beautiful side skirts, which do help in the overall aerodynamics of the car. The rear sort of rakes down quite steeply and ends up at the tail. Although this also causes the rear headroom to decrease a little bit, but the overall proportions of the car are very beautiful indeed. Now let's come to the rear. The Audi S5 and the RS5 do get those quad tailpipes. Since this is a diesel, we only have these twin tailpipes on the left hand side of the car. They could have done with one tailpipe on each of the sides just to increase that sporty appeal. The rear tail lamps have this very 3D-like design, and they look really good in flesh. And the door handles, they, rather than opening outwards, they open upwards, and they're not soft close, so you do have to shut them properly like you do in a normal car. There is a panoramic sunroof on top, although the glass area does not extend all the way to the back, but it's a good enough size sunroof. So this is how it looks. As the sun comes up further, this car starts to look more and more appealing. Let me show you the engine bay and the party trick as well. So if you look at the hinge, the way it opens up is so beautiful indeed. This is a 2-liter TDI motor, typical Volkswagen Group engine, which is popular amongst almost every car that Volkswagen Group pulls out, from the Octavia to the Audis and Skodas. This engine is genuinely impressive. Produces 190 horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque. But what I'm genuinely impressed about is the way it has all been packaged into this rather wide bonnet. There is a good sound insulation as well for the engine to not sound much on the inside, and insulate the entire vibration that comes through. But for me, the party trick will always remain this hinge system. The way it shuts and opens is beautiful. Now let's start talking about the practicality of this car. Yes, it's a coupe, it's low slung, it looks like a sports car, but most of you would be thinking, is it good enough to carry my luggage around? Well, this is a hatchback and it has loads and loads of space, to be honest. We've got nets on the side. This is a pretty sizable boot, 460 liters without the seats folded down. We have a space saver spare wheel. Under the covers there is a net which has hooks. This comes with the car, and if you want more luggage space, we can always pull the seats down, and let's do it on this side as well. Look at that. And we remove this. I can camp inside this car. This is more than 1200 liters of boot space. I can carry my entire wardrobe, perhaps even a washing machine or some kitchen equipments. Yeah, that's big enough. Alright then, let's talk about that rear seat that most of the people who buy this car would be using the most. Let's get in. That pillow is not a part of the package, that's my own. I usually carry it just in case I want to take a nap. And there it is. That seat is placed as per my driving position, and I'm 5'8". There's a good amount of footroom. As you can see, there's a healthy amount of legroom as well. The knee room is good. The thigh support could have been better. It's not extending too much, and yeah, that's just so. This seat is positioned for a person who's 6'3", and as you can see, there's absolutely no space left. The headroom for a person of my size is pretty good, but the backrest is a bit upright for my liking. But otherwise, pretty nice. Since it's a coupe, it does not get those curtains. The sunroof does not come all the way back. There is an armrest which have pretty neat looking cup holders. Yeah, overall the comfort at the back is pretty good. The car has a 3-zone climate control system. The AC fan controls are at the back. You can't increase or decrease the temperature. There's a 12-volt socket, some seat pocket as well. There is a big bottle holder at the side which can accommodate 1-liter bottles. Pretty nice. Soft touch materials everywhere. The leather is pretty squishy as well, which is a thumbs up in terms of comfort. Let's go to the front seat, the driver's seat. And as I told you, the seat is positioned as per my driving preference. We get in, it's quite a low slung position, but comfortable nonetheless. And the dashboard design is beautiful indeed. I mean, it's typically German, but I think in its competition, this is the most high quality cabin right now, hands down. And it's very simple. There is a lot of tactile buttons to play around with, less touch screen and touch this panel and that panel that is pretty popular these days. This is how I like things to be. It has a 3-zone climate control system with haptic touch controls, but to select your preferences you do have to press it, and it has a very unique click sound. Really like it. The steering is a flat bottom one, straight out from the Audi R8, minus that start button here. I wish it was here. This would have been such a wonderful thing. And the virtual cockpit, the famous Audi virtual cockpit that first showed up on the Audi TT, now comes in the A5 as well. It has some really cool tricks. You can look at your phone book, your music. How are you doing in terms of fuel economy? We have been averaging 13.8 kilometers to the liter in the city, which is very impressive indeed, and it's pretty good. All right, we have the headlight controls over here, a small place to keep your wallet or some house keys. On this side, this area of buttons for MMI controls is very good indeed. High quality materials. You see those knurl finish on the rotors. Even here there is this big gear selector, which generally is good because if you're doing long drives you need somewhere to rest your wrist, and this is how you can do it, and it's genuinely comfortable indeed on journeys that I've done which have been as long as 600 kilometers in a day. There's a park button, auto hold. The MMI controls are all new from how it had been several years ago. This is a touch panel wherein I can select my destination. As you can see, I have to go to home. This system is pretty quick, and it reacts to your inputs genuinely fast, and it is one of the most intuitive to use multimedia interfaces right now. And yeah, the overall quality of the cabin, this forward, I don't know if it's forward or it's real wood, but it's so good to feel and touch. It's genuinely nice, and the quality over here, which in most cars is pretty shady, it's really nice. They've got soft touch leather over here with stitching. Looks very premium indeed. We've got big bottle holders. This can accommodate up to 1.5 liters of bottles. There's the drive select button over here. It's a little on the passenger side, so it's a little inconvenient if you're doing speeds and you want to change to dynamic mode or back to comfort mode or individual, however your preference is. The AC controls, very nicely placed. The AC vents go all the way till here. This also is an AC vent, just in case you need to blow the passenger on the face and make their hair fly a little bit, you know, all that cinematic thing happening here right now. Yeah. Frameless rear view mirror, beautiful. I saw this first on the Volvo cars, now it's coming to Germans as well. Looks beautiful indeed. Sunroof controls over here, very well placed cockpit, very easy to use. I just love it, minus the fact Volkswagen Group is still putting their cruise control switches at the back of the steering wheel in a separate stock. They could have just utilized the area on the steering wheel somehow. That could have been more convenient. This is 2019. But anyway, beautiful interior. I love it. I adore it every day. I just can't get over this place. Alright then, let's take it for a spin. This car is very relaxed at highway speeds, and even on city speeds you barely feel anything, although the suspension is a bit on the firmer side, but as speeds build up you really start to gain confidence over handling this car. There's very minimal noise levels on the 8th side as well. The air conditioning works instantly within a few seconds, although it's close to around 29 degrees outside. It's reasonably cooler around the area, but it was generally quick. The sun's quite harsh, and it's a really very relaxed way of cruising on the highways. Now let's try the cruise control button. It shows let's cruise at 110 as suggested. The overall dynamics of the car are very, very good indeed. You barely feel these humps coming in once you cross the triple-digit speed. There is absolutely no tire noise or wind noise because of the drag coefficient of this car, and it's a genuinely impressive cabin as well. And here are the few things that I don't really appreciate about the A5. I won't say that they're not good, but somehow they could have been better. First point is the ground clearance. It's 145 millimeters, and I have scraped the front lip a lot. It's protruding out quite a bit, and it's quite a pain to drive this car in the city limits when there is a rough road or there is a big speed bump. And the rear view mirrors, I'll just be nitpicky on this one. They're a bit too small. Could have been better. But overall, this car, yeah, it's growing on me pretty well. Love this to the core.
So then, the Audi A5 makes a lot of sense. It is bigger than the Audi A4, sexier than the A6, and at 65 lakh rupees ex-showroom, it is a bang for your buck. Follow TheRaceMonkey.com for the latest car and bike reviews, best deals on new cars, and also follow us on our social channels on Instagram and Facebook. Please wear your seatbelts and helmets all the times. Thank you for watching.